Hey everybody, this is Ruben from Pop Goulash. I just wanted to reach out to everybody and say, hey, you can follow us on social media on Facebook at facebook.com/popgoulash. You can also follow us on Twitter at Pop Goulash. If you want to participate with the show, please feel free to email us at popgoulash42@gmail.com. And we also have a voicemail number where if you want to leave us a voicemail, let us know how we're doing or have any suggestions for us, you can reach us at 224-325-4235. And we will see you soon. Thank you very much, and let's get this show on the road. Strap on your ear goggles, bitches. It's time for Pop Goulash. I'm Ruben.
I am Dana.
And we're going to talk in your ear holes for a little while today.
That was a really aggressive opening. I like it. I kind of dug it.
Well, yeah, I've been listening to some aggro music lately. So so I just wanted to let y'all know that we are going to be maybe flipping the script a little bit on the format of the show here. We realize that the 2-hour episodes are a lot of fun to listen to, and they're hella fun to record, but they are chewing up our data and our storage space right now. And until we start taking ads or you bitches start paying us, we can't afford to, put up multiple 2-hour episodes per month because our hosting site only allows us a certain amount for the amount of money that we pay, and 2-hour episodes pretty much just
it eats it up.
It boinks it in the bottom without any lube. So no Vaseline, just imagine a little bit of gasoline, as Ice Cube would say.
Well, it's also a little bit tough too, because then the time that it takes to go through the episodes and edit. So we're changing shit up for everybody.
And as you know, we've mentioned to you before that this is an evolving thing. We're just getting our feet wet in this. So what we're gonna do is, twice a month, we're going to do a catch-up episode where we're going to find out what each other have been consuming and enjoying throughout the previous 2 weeks. And then every other episode, we're going to do our assignments. Now, a lot of what's driving me for us to do these assignments is that the assignment we're going to talk about in episode 5, we've been postponing it for like a month.
For a few weeks now, yeah.
And, the entire purpose of this podcast was so you and I could finally, force each other to consume the media which the other had been recommending for years. Right. And we're like, yeah, we'll get to it next week. We'll get to it next week. We'll get to it next week. And I feel like we've been letting you guys, our listeners, down by not, catching up and doing this. So this episode will be our catch-up episode. The episode that posts after this, which should be next week, mm-hmm.
We
are going to do our assignments.
Yes.
And so we're going to try and follow that format. Now, we will break format from time to time if we have a special guest.
So don't bitch.
Right. Not only that, this is
kidding.
Also, we're going to try to record, and this is a little behind the scenes, we're going to try to record 2 episodes every time we sit down to pod. And the reason for it is there have been a couple weeks where we've missed an episode for one reason or another. My lady parts have been, falling out of my bazoom. And, Dana's got school, and I got kids, and, shit just happens. So we need to make sure that, we have the content for you guys. And so we're gonna work pretty tough on this to be diligent, to keep up with the demands of what we're setting upon ourselves. So that being said, do you have anything to add?
Let's go. No,
right.
I mean, I think you hit it all on the head. We're still learning this whole process, and we also want to take your feedback into consideration.
Fuckers need to reach out to us, man. How many times we have to tell you?
Though, I think it's okay, though. I think we're building a good audience, and I think that we're building a good presence right now, and I think that that's going to come in.
Now, I will say
time
this.
goes.
All of you who interact with us on Facebook, man, we love it.
Yes, we do. Thank you for watching.
As you're
too.
watching us on Facebook Live for the first few minutes of our podcast. But yeah, we really appreciate you guys sticking with us and participating in our fun little polls and surveys and it's fun. We have a lot of fun doing it. Now, what we'd love for you to do is reach out to us on Twitter at Pop Goulash. And
email, which would
email
be
us
great.
at popgoulash42@gmail.com. And look, I'm even going so far as to say this. You call us, we'll play your voicemail on air, okay?
Unedited.
Unedited, as it should be done.
Drop all the F-bombs you want.
Figgity fuck.
I mean, because we don't give a fuck. So you could say, you could just call and leave us a voicemail where you say fuck for like 2 minutes, and I'm cool with that. We'll probably cut it after a minute.
Or call us at 224-325-4235. That's our Google number. You can call it anytime, and we will play your shit on our podcast.
We weren't really going to give you our real phone numbers.
No, fuck that. I'm not stupid. But yeah, please give us a call. Reach out to us. And if you can, if you're an iTunes subscriber, please like, rate, and review us on iTunes. Because the more people that actually do that, it'll actually...
It works
messes
with the
with the
algorithm.
metrics, and it'll actually promote our podcast to where it might actually show up on the hey, this is new and popular list, which will help us grow our listenership.
Not necessarily, though. So I was researching that a little bit. I think you have 8 weeks from the time that you first publish on iTunes. So I think that we might be past that now, or we're coming up close to it.
So like, rate, and review, fuckers.
Yes, for sure. Definitely review us, please. We love the reviews. We've gotten a few so far, and they've been solid, so that's helpful.
So, all right, guys, that's enough of the housekeeping right now. So,
housekeeping.
You want towel? You want me to jerk you off?
What kind of hotel is this?
Happy ending.
All right, so the last episode we did a ball washer on This Is Us, and so I know that some folks were like, whatever, fuck you. It was a great show.
No.
So. We're going to do like a little quick update. So the last episode that played was the road trip episode with William and his dad, or with Randall and his dad, William. And I wept hard.
I told you would.
Hard. Dude, I watched it when it was on. It was live.
Oh, I thought you watched after.
Oh, no,
okay.
I watched it live.
You did watch it live.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was the episode where like I, as a man who was estranged from his father for years,
sure,
and finally reconnected with his dad only to lose him to cancer. Like, oh god, that was a gut punch. It was such a gut punch, but it was such a beautiful episode. Like, I loved it so much.
The whole thing. It wasn't there. I wouldn't change anything about that episode.
Nope.
The whole thing from start to finish, it was very...
It told the story that it needed to tell.
It did, and you felt like you were right there with them, though. That's the thing. Like, you put yourself in that character's shoes, which for you, it's more relatable for you. It was relatable to me, especially in the most recent time. My dad had a quadruple bypass literally a month ago, and it put me in that mindset of holy shit. I could have lost my dad, and you know what I'm saying? Like, oops, sorry, I just hit that. But yeah, it gut punch, nut punch. It punched me in the cervix. I mean, like, it killed me. I cried almost the whole episode.
Yeah, it was wonderful, especially the bar scene where Randall got drunk with everybody.
You get a cousin, and you get a cousin, and you get a cousin. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was
so
fantastic.
that's our This Is update. So that's all we got for This Is Us for this week.
But just watch it,
yeah,
people.
watch the show.
Yeah.
So let's see here. We both last night through Facebook decided that Sausage Party, the animated feature of Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, would be a good idea to watch. Now, mind you, we did not watch it together.
No. Very separate here, yeah.
What a fucking shit bucket movie that was.
Okay.
Tell us how you really feel, Ruben.
Well,
Ugh.
Yeah. I mean, I had heard from two different friends of mine who are both very like liberal minded like we are, and they were both like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Seriously, it was one of those where like I felt that they were just being dirty for the sake of being dirty. And I like Seth Rogen's comedy.
I do too.
And I like everybody who voiced a character in it.
Yes.
And I probably saw about the first 45 minutes and then I fell asleep.
It's funny. I didn't even make it that far. I think I probably got maybe 20 minutes in total. And I just kind of said, now, mind you, I had had a couple drinks last night too. But and you would think that might be like, hey, it's so funny. No, I sat there and I'm like, what in the fresh hell am I watching?
Yeah, so anybody who is unaware, basically it is a movie based in a grocery store.
It's a cartoon.
It's an animated feature about like what happens in with anthropomorphic food.
What do they call it? Oh God, The Great Beyond or something,
Beyond
right?
Anything outside of the grocery
grocery store. Yeah, which it was so. From the start, it wasn't even where it kind of like warmed you
Dude,
up to it.
It said fuck like 16 times in the first 2 minutes.
Yes.
And I'm not one to shy away from language, but it just seemed like lazy script writing to me.
Oh, completely. And again, as we both know, neither one of us finished it. But from what I understand, some of my friends thought it was great and hilarious, and that's great. They said that the ending...
Good for you!
Right, exactly. They said that the ending was fantastic, and I'm like, I don't know how that could be fucking good.
Okay, I
don't
saw
know.
the ending because I woke up and saw the ending.
Did you?
Yes, and there was a food orgy.
Stop it.
And I'm not talking about like what I would have considered to be a food orgy where I'm like just shoving shit in my face.
Right.
No. All the food fuck each other.
Come on.
Yeah, dude. All the food has sex with each other.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
guys?
I mean, it doesn't show penetration, but it was like, it was like the hot dog went into the bun. I'm like, come on, really? That's all you got? Come on, man. All right, Seth, I love you, dude. Put the fucking bong down.
Seriously, that's all that I can think of. I'm like, dude, okay, maybe if I was stoned and 17 watching this movie, it might have been funny. But even then, probably
it wasn't great.
No.
And then at the very end, spoilers, but fuck it, don't watch it. They had a bottle of whiskey they called Firewater.
Yeah.
And it was a total Native American character, which I'm not like, look, whatever. I'm not one for like stereotypes. I don't give a shit.
Right.
You know what? I don't care.
I get it. For sure.
I don't want to be like, I'm not racist. I'm not. But stereotypes prove
they exist.
They exist for a reason. But that one's a kind of a shitty one, really.
It was terrible.
And
terrible.
Bill Hader did the voice for that.
He's the one who did the voice for that character.
For that character. So like they have this big existential thing where they're like, you guys we're not even real. We're cartoons. And then they go through like a Stargate portal, which they called it a Stargate portal, into the real world. And then like he goes, and you are voiced by an actor named Seth Rogen.
Stop.
A Jewish actor. And then, like, Seth Rogen as a hot dog says, oh, I'm a Jew? Yeah, dude. And then they go into the Stargate, and then that's the end of the movie. That's a great ending of a movie.
Was this even in the theaters?
Oh, yeah.
For like a week and a half.
Really?
Dude, seriously.
I don't even recall, for obvious reasons.
I left a better ending on a gym sock on my bedroom floor when I was 14.
Oh my God. It was really
terrible.
disturbing.
I wouldn't so far as say it was disturbing. It was just not good. It wasn't funny.
It was not funny.
It wasn't witty. Like I've always thought that Seth Rogen's
stuff.
Oh,
just the tip. What?
Yeah, I mean, I've always found Seth Rogen's stuff to be rather witty. Like the interview, the one that he got in such trouble with.
God.
That was actually
with James Franco.
Yeah, it was
great.
actually a pretty funny movie. This Is the End.
That was
which
actually
was such
fantastic.
A brilliant meta comedy.
Yes.
But this was just like, it took you guys years to get this put together to do, and this is what you gave us?
It was years?
Yeah, I think they said it took them like 5 to 8 years to get that movie made.
What?
That sounds probably about on par, considering it was computer animated. Think about
no,
Disney
no,
movies.
Jake,
not even that.
No. That's not how long it took them to animate it. That was how long it took them to get it like money for that movie.
Oh, no fucking wonder, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not disturbed by much. Not a lot of things offend me. I was disturbed by this. And I think maybe disturbed is a little bit too harsh of a word. I don't know how to better say it than that. It was just disturbing. Like you said, it was not funny comedy. It was just a way to say fuck and give these terrible sexual innuendos.
And it wasn't even good innuendo.
No,
Like, if it was
like the douche bottle?
dude.
Come
yeah.
on.
At first, I thought he was a toilet plunger.
That's what I fucking thought too.
I'm like, obviously, none of the men who wrote or animated this have ever seen a douche in a store.
I will bring them to my fucking house in my closet and I will show them what it fucking looks like. I was like,
Sweetheart, you know that that's a self-cleaning prophecy down there. You don't need to do that. That's actually really bad to use.
we will not talk about my vagina health tonight. However, because it's very healthy. Anyway,
That sounded like a total Trumpism. We're not going to talk about it. It's very good. We're not talking about it.
It's the best. Believe me.
my husband knows. Just saying. Anyway, so, guess what? We need to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
And we're back.
We are back.
Fuck Sausage Party. That shit was the worst shit I've ever seen in my life. Like,
It was like a bloody vagina stain on comedy.
like I said, man, it was fucking terrible, man. I don't understand how it got made.
I don't
Like,
either.
but the animation was actually not bad.
The animation was good.
That was the best part of the whole movie was the animation. You know what? Maybe we ought to do this. We'll play the movie. We'll MST3K that shit, but we'll just like be like, all right, guys, we'll do this shit like you do with Wizard of Oz and Dark Side of the Moon. So just push play now, and we'll fucking like provide all the voices for it.
You know they do that, right?
Yeah, it's riff tracks.
Yep.
Fuck them. This was my idea for this shitty.
right. Fuck them
Shitty,
with
rotten
something
cunt of a
hard and
movie.
sandpapery.
So
Well, I still need to get the riff tracks for Star Wars Episode 1.
no, don't.
Oh, I have to. Come
No.
on now.
No.
So I might divorce you. But anyway, no.
So
And she has no idea what I'm talking about.
So totally enough of that song. We've given that movie way too much airtime as it is.
I
so
concur.
Don't watch it. Seriously, guys, just take our word for it. It's not worth your time and effort.
Go watch Finding Dory instead. I'm
Dude,
sure
seriously,
you
it's
would be way more entertained.
enjoyable.
I'm sure. And I haven't even fucking seen it yet.
I've seen it multiple times.
It's on Netflix.
I know it is. I saw it at Mom and Dad's today. I was very happy to know.
Toddler.
Toddler
If
Party
it's
of
not
Blood.
fucking Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, it's fucking Finding Dory.
What the fuck is Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood,
Okay,
by
Daniel
the way?
Tiger. Dude, I actually don't mind Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. It is
What
a
the fuck
spin-off.
is he?
It's
Of
on
Mr.
PBS.
Rogers?
It's a spin-off from Mr. Rogers.
So every time I think of Mr. Rogers, though, I think of Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood because that's what I fucking think of
Nice.
immediately.
Nice.
And I will never get that out of my brain because
That's the landlord.
exactly.
Who is it?
But
I
yeah,
need to
no.
climb out the window now.
But
yeah.
it's like it's a kid show geared for kids that are my age. For
Not your age.
not my age, but like for people who have children. Well, it's not. It's for fucking kids. Okay, it's for fucking two. That's a toddler show.
But they're doing a tour though because I see this because of my job. I shit you not. He's doing a tour. Uh-huh. And I don't know if it's national. I know that they're doing it in Detroit for sure.
Why
because
does
I
anybody
saw it.
do anything in Detroit?
I mean, I know Brooks was like,
yeah, we have a Detroiter in the room.
our buddy right here. We do have some special guests, children. Children.
My bad. Dude, I'll give you $20. You could buy like half the property there.
At least they're not doing it in Flint. Whoa, is that too soon too? I don't fucking know.
Well, they're not doing it on the water in Flint.
right.
They're not doing anything on the water in Flint, but
No,
fucking
did you
setting
hear
it on fire.
Nestle? Some.
Yeah.
Stop it! Really?
Anyway, sorry.
Oh,
But yeah,
no, it's all good.
But yeah, if they're doing like a live show, dude, I would love to know about that
It
because
is.
we'll take the boy because he
I'll-
will be interested.
I'll
in
let
that.
you know if they're doing the Chicago. I would have to check. The only reason is because of my like real like grown up job. That's the only reason that I know that they're doing it because
Right on.
I
Yeah,
have
that
to.
would totally be something you'd be into. But it's a cute show. Like they do little life lessons and stuff like that, and it's got like all the Land of Make Believe characters that you would recommend, like King Friday and
Really?
yeah, all of them. They're all animated,
Oh.
and it's an animated show too, so they can do whatever the fuck they want. But it was like
Not like Sausage Party.
Not like Sausage Party.
Well, apparently they do whatever the fuck they wanted in Sausage Party.
Yeah, it was terrible. But yeah, it's if you got a 2-year-old, like that's the one show that I haven't wanted to like just murder myself after watching, because like we've done the Elmo thing and we've done the Bob the Builder thing, and then there was this YouTube shit called Bob the Train that I want to fucking murder myself every time he's like, my boy's like, Bob the Train. No, Bob the Train is like the worst animated shit I've ever seen in my life. Like seriously, like you could fucking like draw a train with a stick figure. Like draw a stick figure
really good
train
with stick figures.
and like fucking urinate on it and then set it ablaze and it would still be better than Bob the Train. So anyway.
Note to self. Never have children.
No, man, kids are fun. They're a lot of fun, man.
They are.
They're like miniature drunk people.
No, they're not though. They're like fucking like horrific dictators that just ruin your soul until they're
Dictators.
probably out of your fucking house.
But you should totally have some.
Yeah, dude, it's great, dude.
Join us.
Yeah.
Dude, but the funny thing is though, like. Those little shits will make you laugh, dude. My kid makes me laugh all the time, especially when he's doing
Yes.
shit that like infuriates me because I'm just like, I did that. So,
Oh
anyway,
my gosh.
so the question to be asked: what have you been consuming this week?
A lot, actually. So
Really?
a lot.
Okay, no, I'm talking not talking booze.
That would be tonight.
That'd be a whole nother podcast.
Ish. Yeah, that would be a terrible podcast. No, so I have been consuming quite a bit lately. I fully admit nothing new because I don't give a shit about a lot of new stuff out there. However,
I'll be ever.
you know, I always go back to my roots, man. It's always really like 80s and 90s stuff. It has to be. But what my biggest shining moment, I've been starting to re-listen to Tori from the beginning.
Oh,
Tori
really?
Amos. Oh, yeah. From like the beginning, like the Why Can't Tori Read days up through Little Earthquakes has been kind of my jam the last
Dude,
couple
there
weeks.
are still songs on that album that punch me in the gut.
As they should. That album, and then also what I kind of dusted off, if you will, Alanis Morissette, Jagged Little Pill.
Good album.
Oh,
I think I saw her
God.
on tour twice for that album.
Fuck you.
I saw her
I
with,
love you.
Wait, I always get the shows confused, but I think I saw her with PJ Harvey opening up.
Oh my God, no! Right?
Yeah, Tinley
I
Park.
love-
It was PJ Harvey and Alanis Morissette, if I'm not mistaken. Because I always confuse that show, and it was funny because a couple years, 3 years ago, Veruca Salt got back together. They toured.
Right.
We saw them, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I totally saw you guys open up for PJ Harvey and Alanis Morissette. And Nina Gordon's or Louise Post is like, we would have never toured with Alanis Morissette. Like apparently she and Alanis had bad blood for whatever reason over a man.
Yikes!
And
Cut
Dave
it
Coulier.
out.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh God. So, but come to find out, it was Veruca Salt had opened up for Live.
Oh,
But I saw him at the
God.
same venue. It was down in Tinley Park within like a couple of weeks of each other. So maybe that's
Understandable.
that. And I smoked a
I
lot
was
of
just
weed
gonna
in
say,
college.
You were smoking a lot of doobs back then too, so
But,
it makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. I did not mean to like
No.
totally jump into your
No,
shit
no.
there.
That's totally fine. So that's been a lot, but I did want to call something else out today too. So like the little fangirl, teen girl in me. I don't know. I don't know if you ever listened. Probably not when you were younger, Tara. Tara and Brooks are our guests today in the background here. Tommy Page, who was kind of like back in like the 90s and stuff, whatever. He died, man.
I have
last
no idea
night.
whom he is.
I know you have no idea who he is, but it was
which is
kind
sad
of-
because like I did record stores for 10 years and I still like I saw
Yeah.
the post like
Yeah.
you posted it or somebody
I
else had
did.
posted it and I'm like well that's sad. I don't know who he is. Please
He
inform
killed
me.
himself. It was really fucking sad. Like
Really?
I don't know all of his backstory, but what I do know is that he was discovered probably early 20s, I'm guessing. Correct me if I'm wrong, people, because you fucking will. But he was discovered somewhere in LA. I'm guessing again, totally guessing. I could look on Wikipedia, but I won't. He had a few albums back, like late 80s, early 90s. He kind of had a resurgence of his career over the last, I don't know how many years, but he was pretty big in the Philippines. And then he worked for, I believe it was Cumulus Media. Maybe it was some other fucking media company. It was some other media company,
Like doing
whatever.
radio?
It wasn't. Maybe it
Cumulus
was radio.
is a radio company.
You know, I should look it up. Maybe it wasn't exactly radio, but I know he was still working in the music business somehow. But I don't know, man. I don't know what
That's
happened.
sad.
He suffered from depression. Really, really sad. Like, that kind of gutted me today, just because I lost a friend last year to suicide. But I'm not going to be the Debbie Downer tonight. But
No,
it just,
but you know what though?
You know,
That's like it's kind of interesting. Like for the last 7 years, I've participated in this event called 50 Men Who Cook.
yes.
And it's a benefit for the suicide prevention services of Fox Valley. So it's
Illinois people.
Yeah,
Illinois.
I don't know if there is another Fox Valley out there.
I mean,
But
you know.
I've never lost anybody personally to suicide, but like I know people who have, and it's really like
It's gutting.
yeah, and it's a real shame. So guys, if you're out there and you're feeling like that there is no hope, man, call
Talk to
somebody.
somebody.
Trust me, because somebody out there loves you, man. Whether it be your
Yes.
parents or a friend, the dog, somebody, man, somebody loves you out there. And if you got nowhere to turn, you should call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 800-237-8255. That's, you know, honestly, man, you know, you could talk all day long. You know, I could try to tell you all day long that it's, you know, there's a reason to be here, man. You know, and just reach out, man. Somebody loves you. Somebody cares. There's always someone who's gonna care, man. You know.
I don't even want to imagine being in that place. I mean, I think we can all relate. We've been in a dark place before, but yeah, that really saddened me today. And I wanted to make sure that I mentioned it too, because when I found out, of course, everybody finds out their fucking news from Facebook these days, it seems, or Twitter.
Hashtag fake news.
Yeah, totally. But like I found that out today, and I had to pause for a minute. I'm like,
Yeah,
man, I was
that's pretty
just
sad.
listening to this. So
But then you think of like, you know, coming up in next month is the 25th anniversary of Cobain.
is it 20? No, not 25. He died in
94, so 23.
Was it 94? I thought it was 95.
No,
No,
yeah,
94.
It was 94.
Oh, that's right, because I was 15.
Yeah, it was
okay.
April 3rd of 94.
So 23.
So it'll be the 23-year anniversary of Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
You know, we lost, you know, even though it was drug overdose, I'm sorry, drug overdoses are just as bad as suicides,
Oh,
if you
it's
ask me. But we lost
awful.
Lane Staley.
Yes.
You know, I mean, it's Shannon Hoon.
Yeah.
You know, I
More
mean,
recently, Scott Weiland.
Scott Weiland.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's so. Just seriously, reach out to if you're feeling desperate, reach out because
That's-
seriously, somebody will be there to hold your hand.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Sorry. All right. So
No, it's okay.
So did you like go back and listen to his albums, or do you have any of his shit?
Oh,
or?
I do. Yeah. So today, of course, like that was like my consumption today, was realist, and it's this is gonna sound so terrible and trite, but it's like teeny bopper music, not completely, but it brings me back to that point when I was like 13, 14 years old. You know what I mean? It brings you back to being a kid.
The first time you ever cried in your pants.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. So that, of course, that was today. But to kind of get back to before that,
Consumption.
definitely Alanis Morissette and Tori. That's kind of been like my battle cries, I guess, for the last couple of weeks.
So just Jagged Little Pill, or have you gone like further into the Alanis catalog?
I have it saved on my phone. It's really just been Jagged Little Pill. I think because I posted the other day, I was re-listening to the song "Perfect" from Jagged Little Pill, and that just cut me. And it was just the craziest thing because you hear, you know, I'm going to be 38 next month, and you hear music.
Dun, dun, dun.
I know, right? You hear music when you're growing up, and like when you first consume the music, and when you first like find out about the songs or the album or whatever. And I don't think that it always clicks, that the point or that, you know, the deeper meaning always clicks. Like I think you get bits and pieces as you're younger, but then of course you get older. You continue to listen to those things and re-listen to those. But the other day, for some reason, it just totally hit me. And I'm like, fuck, wow. Like I get it now. And the same thing with Little Earthquakes. And so this is kind of funny. So I think it was last weekend I was showering and listening to Little Earthquakes and singing and out loud and whatever. oh God, what song was it? I think it was Girl. Is that the name
Dude,
of
Girl's
the
a good
song?
song, yeah.
Yeah. It was that song. And I'm listening to it. And again, it's one of those moments where you're not totally, but you are paying attention. And I'm like, fuck. Wow. I completely get that.
Well, it's one of those like too where you listen to a song as a teenager and it has one meaning for you.
Right.
You listen to it back as an adult with all of your life experiences behind you, and then you're like,
Yes.
"Holy fuck, that song takes on a completely new meaning for me."
And that's exactly what happened because I was just, and that's, you said it perfectly. And that's exactly what happened. I listened to that song again. And for anybody who is not familiar with Tori Amos, shame on you, number one. But number two, go out and listen to Little Earthquakes.
That whole album is fantastic.
Oh, from start
for
to finish.
For a debut album as a solo artist, holy shit. And
Yes.
it's very, and look, if you haven't listened to it, which I don't know who would be listening to our podcast that hadn't, it's
Right.
It's largely just her and a piano. There are sparse arrangements with drums and guitar on a couple tracks, but for the
Yes.
most part, it's like her doing a piano.
It
And
is.
it's wonderful.
It's gorgeous. Are you giving? Oh, good. We're getting a time
getting
check,
time
by the
check.
way, people, because we're trying to be more conscious about that. So, yeah, that album, it just.
Dude, that song, Winter.
Oh my
Winter,
God.
like fucking kicks me in the dick every time I listen to it. It's such an
fantastic.
amazing song.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I really think, and of course, I think for anybody who is a fan of hers, Me and a Gun too, like it's very dark song, understandable for like the content that it talks about because she was raped
And it's a
whatever.
cappella too, which makes it haunting.
Yes.
More haunting.
Yes. So,
And
but
the one song in the album I can't get into is China.
I love that song.
Meh.
Really?
Meh.
That's one of my favorite songs on the
Meh.
album. You know what's funny though? So I wanted to. So anybody who owns the album, and if you look at the artwork on the back of it,
They're
the
mushrooms that look
phallic
like dicks.
symbols, yes. I remember getting that album as a gift, and I'm like, why are there dicks on the back of this CD? It just, it. But I understand now. Now again, like understanding all the messages of the songs and the album and the undertones. Now I get it. But back then it was like, hee, let me smoke another bong. Like,
Right.
Well,
Little Earthquakes.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Yes.
As
Fantastic.
as Dane Cook would call it, DJ Diddles.
Yes.
So
Yes. It's so really like those have been kind of dominating my earpieces for the last couple of weeks.
noise.
What about you though?
Dude, I've been listening to a bunch of shit.
Shocker.
Yeah, after we had our discussion, we talked about Incubus. I went back and listened to some more Incubus.
You did.
Yeah, dude, they're a good fucking band. Like, I know you're not sold
I'm not
on
into them. No.
but that might be an assignment for you later on because, dude, they've got like I said last week, they've got a 3-album run that was just stellar. Not as a bad pun for the song "Stellar" that they wrote on one of their albums. It wasn't as good as the other 3, but listen to that. I listen to. Have you heard of Ciccone Youth?
I hear Ciccone and I think of Madonna, but
That's
no.
exactly what you should be thinking because Sonic Youth got together in like between 87 and 89, recorded an album called Ciccone Youth where they covered.
Stop it. Seriously?
Yeah. Let's see here. They covered. Oh shit! What was the song that they covered? But they actually took like a Xerox copy of Madonna's face, and I'll show you right there.
Oh my God.
And it was like, it's not a good album at all. I mean, it's typical Sonic Youth. It's very noisy, very sparse.
But I love it though. I
lot
love
of
them.
Yeah, but they did a cover of let's see, shit, what cover? Get Into the Groove.
Can you play just a little snippet, please?
Let's see here. All right.
Please hold, people.
So typical Sonic Youth stylings.
I have to
I
save that now to
love
my
some-
Apple.
Yeah, I love some Sonic Youth. I've seen those guys probably 10 times. They're amazing live, but I'd never heard this album. And there's a song on here. That's the second song called Silence, and it's like 2.5 minutes of literal silence. There's nothing on that fucking track. Like that's the track. It's just silence. I'm like, well, you hit that one on the nose. But yeah, because I'd never heard it before. I'm like, all right, I'd had friends of mine be like, oh man, you need to check this out. And I don't know what the fuck they were talking about. I went back and listened to Mother Love Bone's first album.
Oh, nice.
Dude, I like every single song came back to me because I was like, I was a Pearl Jam fan growing up.
Right.
As I discussed on the 30-minute episode of my growing disdain for them over the last 5-10 years. I remember when the Mother Love Bone album came out, it was a double CD. It was like a CD of their album plus like an EP that came along with it.
Okay.
And I didn't like realize how much I had actually listened to that album when it came out. Like every song in that album, I'm like, fuck yeah, this song. Fuck yeah, this one too. Why the fuck don't I listen to this album more? It's an excellent fucking record. Went back, listened to some Foo Fighters.
Okay.
Went back and listened to the In Your Honor album, which is the double album. I listened to the rock side. Now, again, with my thing with double albums.
I know. I was going to say something, but yeah.
This one suffers, and I've had discussions about this with other people before. And this is the one Foo Fighters album I really don't go back to very often because, one, it's a double album. It's a lot to listen to. But two, every Foo Fighters album, there's a definite flow to the record. You've got your loud rock songs that kind of go into your... It's very Pixies, loud, soft, loud. Okay. Loud, quiet, loud. But they do it in such a way that, like, every song flows right into the next one the way that you would anticipate it to. It's like, oh wow, there's a fucking kick-ass tune, another kick-ass tune, and then there's like a kind of a laid-back chill tune, but it's still pretty kick-ass. Well, what they did on this album was album 1 was all kick-ass rock songs, and then the second disc was all acoustic tunes.
Oh.
So there was like, it was like listening
Clashing.
It was like listening to cars crashing.
Really?
Yeah, like it made sense why they did it, but at the same time it didn't flow naturally like a normal Foo Fighters record does. So, but they did, dude, that the rock album that they put out had some pretty solid shit on it,
See, and I appreciate and I do like the Foo Fighters, but you are like
I'm a super fan.
Totally.
Oh, yeah.
So it's interesting to hear you talk about these albums because I don't have as good of a context as you do on this stuff.
Yeah, and I've been following these guys and once we get Eli on the pod, we'll tell the story of the Foo Fighters day.
Okay.
I don't want to tell it now because I want to make sure that he's here to tell his side of the story as well.
Okay.
Needless to say, I wasn't into the first album. When it came out, I'm like, I just wanted it to be another Nirvana record, and it wasn't another Nirvana record, and I'm like, fuck this. Then we saw him, and I'm like a number one fan.
Wow.
But there was also an entire thing to go along to that.
That's why I'm like, I know that there's something
There's more of a story to this, guys. I'm sorry, but I will get to it. We will get to this story.
Dick. No,
so that's just a little teaser. Just the tips. Just the tips.
Just the tips. Oh, Jesus.
So,
don't watch Sausage Party.
But then they came out with Color and the Shape, which was instrumentally probably one of the greatest rock albums to come out in 1997.
Okay.
After that, they came out with There's Nothing Left to Lose, which was a total shift for them. It was just the three guys in the studio recording an album. And then after that, they did One by One, which was a crazy fucking rock record.
Yes, that totally was.
And that was the album where you could totally tell Dave Grohl spent his summer vacation with the Queens of the Stone Age because it sounds like a Queens of the Stone Age record. But they don't play half of those songs live anymore. They just
really?
Yeah, Dave doesn't like the album, which is weird because when they recorded the album, apparently they recorded the entire album, hated it, scrapped it, re-recorded a brand new album. And I would love to find a bootleg of that scrapped album. Find out what that was.
Search the interwebs. I'm sure it exists.
It's out there somewhere.
Yeah, somebody's got that.
So then after that, they recorded the In Your Honor album, which they did 2 tours for it as well. They did a loud rock tour, which they toured with Weezer, and that was a fucking incredible show. Loud as shit, but it was an incredible show.
Huh.
And then they played the Auditorium Theater in Chicago
God.
did an acoustic show. They did an acoustic show, which was also the loudest fucking acoustic concert I've ever been to in my life. And it was crazy that I went because it sold out like that. And I went on eBay. Dude was selling a single ticket.
Nice.
I bid $10 and nobody outbid me.
What?
Yeah. I saw the Foo Fighters.
Did you have like total shit stick nosebleed seats?
No, there's no nosebleeds. There's no balcony at the Auditorium Theater.
No, they're at the auditorium. Yeah, there's a balcony
On Congress. The Auditorium Theater is on Congress. Congress and Roosevelt. Congress and.
Is it because it's Roosevelt College over there, right? That's where the Auditorium Theater is.
It's on Congress and Lakeshore. What's the city? What's the one that's just west of Lakeshore? I'm fucking bad with city. State Street.
I'm trying to think.
Either way,
really?
yeah, because they do ballets and fancy shit there.
Yeah, but there.
I don't recall there being a balcony. All I know is I was in the mezzanine.
You were okay. So
I was on the main area. Gorgeous theater, but I got to see him on that tour for $10 fucking dollars, and that's when Pat Smear basically joined the band again.
No shit.
Yeah. So I listened to that. That was great. Best thing ever.
I'm listening.
So
Do tell.
I threw on Marvin Gaye's "What's Going On" last weekend, and I was making breakfast and I was playing it, and the boy walks into the kitchen and starts dancing to "What's Going On."
Get out.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it was a magic moment, and I'm like, man, I wish I could record this, but I can't because it's playing on my phone. But I wish I could record it, but I can't because it's on my phone. But yeah, it was one of those magic moments, man.
That's fantastic.
Went back, listened to some Childish Gambino, listened to some Honey Honey. Oh God, I love Honey Honey Band.
I know you do. And
then this morning, I'm putting together the easel because my mom got my son an easel. On one side it's a chalkboard, the other side is dry erase, but it's got paper so he can paint on it. I'm like so pushing my kid into art. It's unbelievable.
Good.
You know, I never had like that in my life. I never had like a parent like saying, you should do this. This should be like I picked up guitar, but never once did my folks ever say, you know what, you're really good with this. We should foster this in you. So like whenever my kid like really picks up anything that's art related. Now look, if he wants to play football, I'll get behind that. I don't like football, but what are you going to do?
Sure.
But I'm going to foster him to do whatever he wants to do. And right now he really likes painting and drawing, so I'm just do it, son.
That's so cool.
I'm putting together his easel this morning, and I'm listening to some fucking REO fucking Speedwagon.
Wait, you were listening? I was listening to them this morning as well.
Yeah,
I was
dude,
totally jamming out.
Yeah, man, fucking keep on rolling, man. So I was listening to some fucking REO Speedwagon. So that was a lot of fun. But yesterday, I stopped in to Kiss the Sky. Because a while back I had ordered a disc, so I had to make good and pay for it. And then as I was in there, they were playing, you know, whatever. And now new music release
High enough
days.
by the damn Yankees.
No, we never played that. But, you know, now that they've moved New Music Tuesday to New Music Friday, I was in store. So I'm like, all right,
nice.
you know, I'm wandering around and they're playing some shit that came out. I picked up the album that I ordered was from an artist named Xenia Rubinos. Xenia is, let's see, Xenia Art Rubinos, Rubinos, and the album was Black Terry Cat. This fucking album's incredible. Like, she's got like this R&B thing going on, but it's like a lot of hip hop beats, but there's rock and roll going on at the same time. And then there's like this Latin influence. Maybe she's Dominican. I don't know anything about her.
Okay.
All I know is I was listening to another podcast, and it was on their honorable mentions from last year. So I'm like, what the fuck? I'll pick it up. Dude, it's an incredible fucking record. Like nothing I'd ever heard before.
Future assignment for both of you.
Well, it's not an assignment for me, fucko. I own the album.
That's what I was going to say.
But she's got a couple albums. She's only got 2 albums out. But yeah, she's got a song called Mexican Chef on there where it's about immigration. Like they're like Italian restaurant, Dominican chef. Chinese restaurant, a Mexican chef. Like it's very
interesting.
Yeah, and it's a good fucking record, dude. I really dig it. So this will be definitely one that I'm going to be spinning quite often. I really enjoy it. And then while I was in the store, they had an album that they were playing from a band called All Them Witches. And again, I know nothing about this band, but the album just came out yesterday. It's called Sleeping Through the War. And it's just different. It's a different kind of album. Like the song that I just popped in, because I think I walked in, they were halfway done with playing the album. It's 8 tracks. And like it started off kind of like psychedelic folky. and then it just fucking like shredded my face off at the end of this first track. Like, fucking dope, man. Like, I have been so like starving to listen to find anything new, because like you, I get stuck in like, well, 97 was a good year, so I'm just going to play fucking everything that came out then.
That's
you know,
kinda,
I saw this concert then. Hey, let's put a playlist together of all the songs that they played at that concert. You know, I'm like, and it's, I love all that stuff, but fuck, man, how many more times can I hear Pearl Jam's Black?
I get
You know,
it.
how many more times can I listen to Pretend We're Dead by L7?
I mean, I beg to differ, but I totally
But you know what
understand
I mean.
what you
You know,
mean.
it's like I don't like. I've felt stagnant musically for like the last 10 years.
That's interesting though, because I have felt the same way, which is why I think I continue to get even deeper into. I'm just going to continue to listen to what I've been listening to.
See, but and that's the thing though. Like, you're talking to somebody who for 10 years was on top of it.
Right.
Like, I knew fucking tons of shit about releases, about this indie band or that really obscure thing or this other guy and this. I don't know shit from Shinola anymore. Like, my music knowledge stops in 2002. Because that's when I stopped working at the record store and started working for my current grown-up job. So, like, everything that I've picked up from here and there has just been like, oh, I stopped into Kiss the Sky and they had this. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting, you know? But I've never really, like, searched out anything. So now it's like, this podcast has started me to, like, really start digging into new things and trying to find out stuff to turn you onto it for one, but also to turn me onto it, because I don't want to listen to the same shit over and over and over again. Because when it comes down time for Grayson to be 15 and he's bringing me, hey, listen to this, I don't want to be like, fuck that. Here, listen to this album I've been listening to for 35 years, you know?
See, I'm hoping that I catch that bug as well.
Listen to the Xenia Rubinos album, dude. Fucking, it's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking dope, dude.
Yeah, maybe I will check it out. I you know, I'm open to it's not like I'm closed off to any suggestions. I'm not. I do have to tell you though, you posted something yesterday which kind of sparked the last couple of, was it yesterday or the day before?
No, it was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
The
power ballads. And that was good because it kind of sparked for me yesterday. As soon as you posted that, I was like, ah, son of a bitch. Now I have to listen to a lot of power ballads. So that kind of took all of the rest of yesterday and then part of this morning when you mentioned that you were jamming out to REO Speedwagon. Yeah. Then I started listening to all of that stuff again too. So
nice.
that was fun.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fun post, you know.
It definitely was.
The one thing though, everybody was like, well, like, power ballads really like was a 90s thing. Fuck you.
No, I do defend that because
I don't.
It was, but the only reason why is because I think power ballads for sure happened in the 80s. We know this. We know that that's a thing. But I think that they were kind of overlooked because people looked at it like they were being pussies. Even though that was a trend at that time, I don't think that it got as much recognition until 1990 or 91, I think.
No, because you got to think, like, 91 came, Nirvana came, and fucking leveled the playing field.
See, I don't think so much it was 91 when they really did it. I think it was when they got more, like, notoriety. I was going to say, Jake, actually 92, not 93 so much. It was really 92 where it started.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Nevermind was released in October of 91.
I think you're right.
Because
but I don't
10 was released in August of 91.
But I think... Okay, so this is, I'm not going to allude to that, but those movies that we talked about earlier, Singles and Reality Bites. So a lot of those Seattle grunge scene bands were really up and coming during those films. But I still don't think that it really caught on because I remember I was in, I think it was 8th grade. It was like right before freshman year, 8th grade freshman year. I know you're a year older than me. That's when I really feel like that started to catch on big time. It was like 93.
Yeah, no, because no. What, with the Seattle shit in 93?
It was there before, but I mean, I'm not power ballads. The Seattle shit.
No.
That's when that really started to become such a bigger thing, just because I think it was that they got more airplay.
That's when you caught on to it. Because you're still listening to the New Kids on the fucking Block, okay?
No.
Yes. Wrong. Wrong.
Easy there, Donald. You're out of your element.
It was, I really feel that, at least from like a radio standpoint, that's when it started to get a lot more airplay, because you had stations like Q101 that were playing that. You had still at that point in the early 90s, and again, people, I'm talking about Chicago local shit, but Q101 was still pretty renowned throughout the United States as far as I'm concerned. But even locally in Chicago, you still had the Blaze. They fucking went off the air. I don't remember exactly when that ended, but that was...
Well, Rock 103.5 took over, I want to say in like 95, 96.
I don't think it was that late.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was 95 or 96.
I feel like you're wrong, and I want to prove you wrong because I love you.
And you're a dick.
And I'm totally a dick, but I want to...
But my whole point was like I think back to, and I brought up "Home Sweet Home" by Motley Crue.
Yes,
dude, that was like the power ballad
it's
ever.
A great song,
dude. You know how much shit I took? Oh, that's such a pussy song. Fuck you guys. That song kicks ass.
So 103.5 The Blaze went off the air in 91, in early 91.
Was it?
Oh no! I'm sorry, I lied. Oh God, I need to learn.
The Blaze
how to
was
read.
94.7.
No, The Blaze was 103.5. I remember because I had a shitty promo picture from whoever the two DJs were. I don't remember.
94.7 was like a rock
The Zone.
station. Yes,
yeah, because the
Zone.
Blaze went from 104.
WFYR was The Blaze originally.
Yeah, and then it went to Rock 103.5.
Yes. So I lied, people. Sorry. 91 is when WFYR sold to The Blaze. But then The Blaze went off the air. Son of a gun. It became Rock 103.5. Yeah. We know that 94.
When did it? Was it 94?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was only off by a year or two.
But see, I thought it was sooner than that. But we were pretty much around the same time.
Because Rockstock happened.
That's when a lot of that shit started. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of that. That's why I'm saying like the 90s. I feel like the very very early 90s were the heyday for the power ballads, and then. That's when all the Seattle grunge, quote-unquote grunge bands, when all the Seattle bands started coming onto the scene, but they got more notoriety. That's why this station went off the air in 94, because of that kind of shit. That's the trend.
Yeah, well, that's when, like, the death knell was, that's when the fucking last nail got put into the coffin. But,
right.
But for, like, the power ballad, though, I mean, like, you can go back into, like, mid-'80s for the power ballad. Like, my buddy said Metallica's Fade to Black.
Oh, God, yeah.
You know?
And somebody also posted Total Eclipse of the Heart by Bonnie Tyler, and I was like, I guess that was a power ballad.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be by a butt metal band.
No, not at all. But when you think about it, I think a lot of people have that very narrow.
If it's not
vision.
Poison, it's not. No, fuck
exactly.
you.
If it's not Every Rose Has Its Thorn, go fuck yourself. I think people just tend to associate that with those shitty glam rock bands. I shouldn't say that they're shitty because they're really not. I still celebrate a lot of their songs just because it's nostalgic and they still hold up. I think.
Yeah, Def Leppard's coming back. They had a Groupon. I almost called to see if you wanted to go.
Dude, we should do it. I had tickets.
It was like Def Leppard and Poison.
Fuck your face. I would totally go to that show, man. Yes, exactly. Tara would go.
And
it
Tesla?
Is Tesla. It is. And last year, Def Leppard toured again because of when that whole ticket bastard settlement happened. I got tickets and we weren't able to go.
What was the one we were supposed to go to? Oh, Prophets of Rage.
Prophets
we didn't
of
go.
Rage. Yeah.
That's all right. I heard it was kind of shitty.
I heard it was pretty not good.
Their
too.
original music. I listened to their EP. Their original stuff was like, you have such a pedigree and you put out a fucking.
I wiped my ass with it.
It's not even a shit record. It's a shit paper record.
It's a shit stain record, exactly.
It wasn't good. I was like, wow. and like seriously, like the Rage guys are I will go as far as to say this: they are the tightest live band I have ever seen in my life.
Nice.
And I saw them.
That.
I've seen them as Rage, and I saw them as Audio Slave.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, and they are like, Tim and Brad, the bass player and the drummer, are lock sync. Those two guys are the greatest rhythm section in rock and roll history.
They gave Tom Morello the opportunity to do the crazy shit he does on guitar.
Yeah, they hold that shit down. They are incredible. So much to the point, when I saw him with Audio Slave, Brad Wilk was facing the back of the stage. The drummer was facing the back of the stage.
Wow.
You saw his back. He had a mirror in front of him so he could like look out into the crowd. He wasn't even paying attention to the fucking crowd, and he was playing. It was rad.
I read he had an anxiety disorder.
Really?
That's why he did that. So he started out, and if I remember this correctly, he would face the back of the stage, which is the first time I saw him at Lollapalooza in '93. He was facing the back of the stage, which then later that tour, they all went out on stage naked, and I'm like, man, I used to have anxiety. I wouldn't get out in front of a bunch of people naked, but...
Hey, the easiest way to get over it.
But as time went on, he at some point he turned the set sideways and played sideways. Eventually, he got to where he faced the crowd.
Interesting. That's an interesting bit of trivia. I never knew that. Wow. And then he went on to play drums on Black Sabbath's 13, their last studio album. Brad played drums on that.
Shit.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, that guy's a fucking amazing drummer, dude.
Ozzy's retired now for good, right?
I think they
Like he hung up the hat this year.
He hung up something on his hairdresser apparently too.
Well,
What, his maid?
No, that was Arnold.
Oh, the hairdresser.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, my mind went, he had hair on his dresser. And I've not even had that much to drink. So, well, guys, I really appreciate you guys sticking through with us on this one. That's kind of catching us up for the last 2 weeks where we've been, what we've been listening to. Honestly, if anything of that we've brought up has caught your ear or caught your interest, let us know. If you pick up any of the records that we've talked about today, let us know. Let us know what you think.
Totally want to hear
Like I
about
said,
that.
if you call us and you leave us a voicemail with your review of that record, I will play it. Like, we will definitely get your voice on this podcast. We'll credit you. I'm not paying you because I don't have any money. But we'll definitely, like, do what we can I can't stress it enough. We want this show to be interactive. So please, like, don't just hang out with us on Facebook. Hit us up on Twitter. Call us. You got the number.
Totally find us on Twitter, though. It's at Pop Goulash. You need to send us emails, popgoulash42@gmail. I don't know the fucking phone number. Ruben will read it here in a minute.
The phone number is 224. I'm going to try and say it in the voice of a Mexican announcer. 224-322... No, fuck that. 224-325-4235. My Spanish sucks.
I'll try to school him a little bit on that next time for our Hispanic viewers.
Viewers?
Viewers. God damn it, I did it
viewers.
again. Listeners. I've been doing that. Like in my head, I'm like, it's listeners, and then I say viewers. And my dog's going shitbag crazy upstairs. So that means we have to end this one. So.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for sticking out with us, and we'll see you next week. Just be good to each other.
Bye.